All right, let's talk about financing a pre-construction condo right here in Vancouver. Now, I know the whole process can feel like a total maze, but honestly, if you have the right strategy, it's a massive opportunity. So let's dive in and break down exactly what you need to know heading into 2025.
So you're thinking about jumping into the Vancouver presale market, huh? Well, I gotta tell you, the financial journey is probably not what you think it is. And you know what? Understanding that difference right from the get-go is the single most important step you can take.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Buying a regular existing home? That's a sprint. It's basically one single transaction. A presale, on the other hand, that's a financial marathon. You're not getting your mortgage approved today, you're trying to get it approved years down the road. And that simple 5% down payment you're used to hearing about? Yeah, you can forget that. We're talking about a whole different, much more complex deposit structure.
Okay, so let's tackle that first big hurdle and really see how this works. You have to master the unique presale deposit structure. This is honestly where a lot of people get tripped up.
So how do these payments actually work? Well, it's not one big check. It starts off small, just a couple grand to reserve your spot, but then bam, just 7 days later, you're putting down a serious chunk of cash. And it doesn't stop there. Over the next year, maybe two, you'll be making more big payments until you've hit that full 15 to 25% deposit. And remember, this is all your cash for the down payment, the mortgage, the bank loan. That comes way, way later.
And to put a real number on that, for a pretty typical $750,000 condo, you could need to have 150 grand in cash ready to go over that construction period. That's a significant amount of money that you absolutely have to plan for.
Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. Where is all my money going? Is it safe? And the good news is yes. BC has some really strong laws to protect buyers. Your entire deposit sits safely in a lawyer's trust account. The developer can't even touch it for construction. And if, for whatever reason, the project gets canceled, you get every single penny back.
All right, you've got the deposit figured out. Now comes the real boss level, the biggest gatekeeper that stands between you and your mortgage approval when the building is finally done, the Federal Mortgage Stress Test.
Now, here's the deal with this stress test. The bank doesn't just care about the interest rate they're offering you today. They have to test your finances against a higher, imaginary rate. It's basically the government's way of making sure you don't bite off more than you can chew if rates go up later. So you have to prove you can afford payments at your mortgage rate plus 2% or 5.25%, whichever one is higher. It's a mandatory financial buffer.
And this chart shows you exactly why this is such a big deal. Your actual mortgage rate might be, say, 4.5%, but the bank is judging you as if it were 6.5%. For a family earning $150,000 a year, that difference can literally slash how much you can borrow by $150,000. It's a huge factor in what you can afford.
But look, it's not all doom and gloom. You've got moves you can make. You can beef up your down payment, you can stretch out your loan over 30 years, which is a great option for new builds. You can focus on crushing other debts like car loans or credit cards. You can even look at provincially regulated credit unions, which sometimes have different rules. These are all real strategies to help you pass that test.
And hey, speaking of moves you can make, if you're a first-time buyer, you get some special power-ups in your toolkit. Think of these government programs as financial cheat codes for your home buying journey.
First up, you've got the Provincial Property Transfer Tax Exemption. This thing can save you up to $8,000 in closing costs, just like that. That's a huge chunk of change that stays in your bank account instead of going to taxes. Then there's the Home Buyers Plan. This lets you pull up to $60,000 from your RRSP, totally tax-free, to use for your down payment. And get this, if you're buying with a partner, you can double that. That's $120,000, a massive, massive help. And last but definitely not least, the new kid on the block, the First Home Savings Account, or FHSA. Seriously, this thing is a game changer. It's like an RRSP and a TFSA had a baby. You get a tax break when you put money in, and it's tax-free when you take it out for a home. It is an unbelievably powerful way to save.
Okay, let's fast forward. You've paid your deposits, you've saved your money. Now we're at the final leg of this race, closing day. This is where things get real, where you finally get that mortgage, and where you've got to be aware of some brand new tax rules. Remember that marathon we talked about at the beginning? This is where that analogy really hits home. A lot can happen in 2 or 3 years of construction, right? Your job could change, interest rates could go up or down, the bank's own lending rules could get stricter. This uncertainty is, without a doubt, the single biggest risk of buying a presale.
And to make things even more interesting, there's a new rule in town starting in 2025, the BC home flipping tax. The idea is to discourage short-term speculation. So if you sell your place within 2 years of buying it, the government is going to take a cut of your profits. And yes, this absolutely applies to pre-sales.
It's pretty straightforward, really. You can see it here. If you sell super fast within that first year, bam, you get hit with a 20% tax on your profit. After a year, that rate starts to slide down until after 730 days, 2 full years, it drops to 0.
Okay, now everybody lean in close because this next part is absolutely crucial for presale buyers. That 2-year clock, it starts the day you sign the contract. Not the day you get the keys, not the day you move in, the day you sign. This is a huge deal because it means that entire 2 or 3 year construction period counts towards your 2-year holding period.
So that brings us to the big, scary question, the one that I know keeps presale buyers up at night. What happens if, after all that waiting and saving, you get to the finish line and you just can't get approved for a mortgage? Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The answer is tough. You risk losing your entire deposit. That $150,000 we talked about, gone. And this is exactly why your financial health during those construction years, keeping your credit score pristine, your job stable, and your debts low, is completely and totally non-negotiable.
In the end, it all comes back to what mortgage broker Bill Karalash said. Success really just depends on understanding the complete picture right from day one. You've got to plan for the deposit, prepare for the stress test, use every single government program you can get your hands on, and keep your finances in top shape for the entire marathon.
So we've laid it all out, the good, the bad, and the tricky parts. You've seen the challenges, but you also have the tools to overcome them. The only question left is the one you see right here. Knowing everything you know now, is a Vancouver presale the right calculated opportunity for you and your financial future?